Hi there. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic: how our emotions and brains are completely interconnected. We know emotions affect how we think, make decisions, and even how our mental health develops. But did you know that certain factors like constant stress can actually impact the brain physically? Or that things like online interactions and even Botox can change how we feel and perceive the world around us? In this video, we'll cover a variety of topics, from the effects of chronic stress on brain health to the evolutionary role of emotions and how empathy shapes our relationships. We'll also look at how the brain and gut communicate, how alternative methods help with emotional treatment, and even the impact of laughter on our neural circuits. Each topic will give you new insights into how the science of emotions explains a lot of our everyday behaviors. So let's kick off with our first topic and understand what stress really does to our brains. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to do so. You don't miss more content like this. Stress is part of life, right? We all experience it at some point, whether it's from deadlines, worries, or big changes. But when stress becomes constant, it stops being just a passing thing and turns into a real problem. And unfortunately, our brains feel the direct impact of this. There's an area of the brain called the hippocampus, which plays a key role in our memory and the growth of new brain cells. When we're under continuous stress, our body releases high levels of cortisol, known as the stress hormone. The problem is that too much cortisol starts to impact the hippocampus, reducing its ability to function well. This effect is so strong that it can even cause the hippocampus to shrink, which affects our ability to remember things and manage emotions. This shows just how important it is to find ways to relieve stress, whether through physical activities, hobbies, or simply taking time to breathe and relax. After all, taking care of our brain is essential to maintaining a good quality of life. How's it been for you? Share in the comments how you've been dealing with stress in your day-to-day. Now that we understand stress's impact on the brain, let's talk about how emotions can show up differently across genders. This is a popular topic, and sometimes it seems like men and women have completely opposite emotional reactions. But the reality is a bit more complex. Research shows that yes, there are some small differences in emotional sensitivity between genders, but these differences are generally minor and are shaped by social and cultural factors. For example, men and women may have been taught from a young age to either express or hold back certain emotions. Men are often discouraged from showing vulnerability, while women are encouraged to express their feelings. However, the emotional variation within each gender is much greater than the difference between them. This means that, in the end, each person experiences and expresses emotions in their own unique way, and these individual patterns outweigh the general differences between genders. In other words, all of us, regardless of gender, have our own ways of feeling and expressing what we're going through. If you've made it this far, please give this video a like. It really helps YouTube keep showing my content, so I can keep sharing this important message with you and others interested in learning about emotions. Moving on, let's dive into why emotions are so essential to us, and have been for a long time. Emotions aren't here by accident. They evolved over millions of years to help our ancestors survive and make crucial decisions. For instance, fear, which we now feel in dangerous situations, was essential for helping our ancestors avoid threats like predators. Similarly, the joy we feel in safe and comfortable moments encouraged social bonds, strengthening groups, and promoting mutual support. Each emotion was shaped by evolution to help us adapt to our surroundings and make safer, better choices. These basic emotions are still with us today, playing an important role not just in physical survival, but also in our daily decisions. They help signal what's safe, positive, or risky, and guide our personal choices, whether in relationships, work, or even something as simple as crossing a busy street. Now, let's dive into an interesting topic: the impact of Botox on our ability to perceive emotions. Botox is well known for smoothing out wrinkles and giving a younger look, but it can also affect the way we emotionally connect with others. How does this happen? When Botox is applied to certain areas of the face, some muscles responsible for facial expressions get paralyzed. This blocks expressions like surprise, sadness, or joy. But here's the fascinating part. When we limit our facial expressions, we also reduce what's called emotional mirroring. Emotional mirroring is a natural process that helps us understand what others are feeling through micro-expressions and gestures. In social situations, our facial expressions help create empathy and form connections. If someone with Botox has a reduced ability to express emotions, it can be harder for others to read how they feel, and they may even struggle to pick up on others' emotions. This shows just how deeply our facial expressions and emotions are intertwined, more than we might realize. What do you think about this? Have you ever had trouble reading someone's emotions because of Botox? After understanding how even facial expressions influence empathy, let's move on to serotonin and its role in depression. For a long time, it was believed that depression was mainly caused by a lack of serotonin, a neurotransmitter linked to well-being. This is why many antidepressant treatments focus on boosting serotonin levels in the brain. However, recent research has shown that depression is much more complex than that. Besides serotonin, other neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine also play important roles. Plus, factors like genetics, environment, and even stressful life events interact in complex ways, influencing how depression presents in each person. So, while serotonin is an important component, it's just one piece of a larger puzzle. This broader understanding helps in creating more comprehensive and personalized treatment approaches, taking each person's unique journey into account for emotional healing. Moving on to a sensitive and fascinating topic, let's talk about the relationship between autism and emotions. There's a common belief that people on the autism spectrum struggle to understand emotions. But science shows that, for certain subgroups of autistic individuals, emotional understanding can be intense, and in some cases even heightened. Many autistic people are extremely sensitive to emotions, especially in social interactions. Some on the spectrum may feel others' emotions so intensely that, as a protective mechanism, they avoid eye contact. This is a coping strategy that helps them reduce the emotional overload they might experience in social settings. Understanding this sensitivity is essential for a more empathetic and inclusive approach to autism. It reminds us that emotional experiences vary greatly from person to person, and that common assumptions often don't capture the depth and diversity of these emotional journeys. Don't forget to leave a like. Now let's explore a surprising connection: the link between the gut and the brain. It might sound strange, but our gut is often called the second brain, because it contains millions of neurons that are directly connected to the central nervous system. This two-way communication system between the gut and the brain, known as the gut-brain axis, allows constant information exchange. For instance, when we're anxious or stressed, the brain sends signals to the gut that can cause gastrointestinal discomfort. Hence the phrase butterflies in your stomach. Similarly, the gut influences the brain, affecting our emotions and mood. Research shows that up to 90% of serotonin, the neurotransmitter linked to well-being, is produced in the gut. This discovery offers new insights into how digestive health impacts our emotional balance. Maintaining a healthy diet and caring for the gut, therefore, can improve not only physical health, but also help promote emotional well-being. Understanding the role of the gut in our emotions brings us to another interesting point: how non-medication treatments can support emotional balance. When we think about treating emotional issues like anxiety and depression, medication often comes to mind as the main solution. And while meds can be helpful in certain cases, there are many effective ways to treat these issues without them. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, for example, is widely used to help people manage negative thoughts and behaviors. CBT helps identify thought patterns that may be influencing emotions and teaches practical techniques for healthier responses. Plus, meditation and mindfulness practices have shown promising results in reducing stress and anxiety. These methods train the brain to develop a calmer, more controlled response to challenges. These non-invasive practical approaches offer a way to work on emotions sustainably and without side effects. They remind us that we can build emotional and mental well-being through techniques that encourage self-awareness and positive adaptation. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more informative content like this. As we explore alternatives for emotional well-being, we can't ignore the impact the digital environment, especially the internet, has on our relationships and empathy. While the internet connects people worldwide, these interactions can have a double-edged effect on empathy. Research shows that in online spaces, people tend to feel more empathy for those who share similar opinions and beliefs, a phenomenon known as group reinforcement. Meanwhile, empathy toward those in outgroups or with opposing views can decrease. This polarization can create an emotional divide where we feel empathy for those who are like us, and more judgment toward those who are different. Understanding this effect prompts us to think about how we interact in the digital world and reminds us of the importance of practicing empathy with everyone, even from behind a screen. Building a more open and respectful attitude in online interactions is a powerful way to strengthen connections and reduce barriers, both online and off. How has your experience been on the internet? All right, to wrap things up, let's talk about the power of laughter and its impact on the brain. Laughter is more than just a reaction to something funny. It activates complex neural circuits that influence our mood, emotions, and even how we see the world around us. When we laugh, several areas of the brain kick into action, especially those tied to positive emotions and feelings of reward. These circuits are mainly located in the brain's left hemisphere, which is associated with more rational and optimistic thinking. Laughter also releases endorphins, the so-called happiness hormones, which help reduce stress and create a sense of well-being. Plus, laughter is a powerful social tool. It connects people in a lighthearted and genuine way. This emotional bond strengthens relationships and encourages empathy and understanding. In short, laughter not only boosts our mood and reduces anxiety, but also helps us build positive connections and see life with a bit more lightness. After exploring so many fascinating aspects of how the brain and emotions are connected, it's clear that taking care of our emotions is an ongoing process. Each topic we've covered here offers new perspectives on how to approach this more mindfully and effectively. Remember, our emotions and mental well-being are linked to everything, from stress and our daily routines to those small moments of joy and connection with others. The science of emotions isn't just an area of study. It's an opportunity to see how small daily changes can really improve our quality of life. Now that you know a bit more about the impact of emotions, why not think about which habits and practices could bring more balance to your routine? Our brains and bodies thank us when we create a healthy emotional environment, and the benefits last a lifetime. So, let's keep going together on this journey of self-awareness and self-care. And remember, taking care of your mind is an act of love and respect for yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video.